So picture this. Three guys, Frank Morris and the Anglin brothers, John and Clarence, decide they've had enough of the cozy accommodations at Alcatraz Federal Penitentiary. I mean, who wouldn't want to break out of a prison located on an island off the coast of San Francisco, right? It's like a dream vacation, but with more guards and less Mai Tais. Now, Alcatraz is no walk in the park. It's known as one of the most secure prisons in the world. But these guys, they weren't about to let a little thing like maximum security get in the way of their freedom. So, on the night of June 11th, 1962, they put their plan into action. First things first, they had to get out of their cells. Now, these cells were no joke. They were like tiny little boxes made of steel and concrete. But Frank, John, and Clarence were no amateurs. They had been planning this escape for months, maybe even years. They had tools made out of spoons and whatever else they could get their hands on. They chipped away at the walls, little by little, until they had a hole big enough to squeeze through. Once they were out of their cells, it was time to make their way to the outside world. But here's the kicker. Alcatraz is surrounded by water. I'm talking cold, choppy, shark-infested water. Not exactly the kind of swim you want to take after a prison break. But these guys were determined. They had fashioned a raft out of raincoats and managed to sneak out of the prison undetected. Now you might be thinking, okay, they made it out of the prison, but how did they survive in the open water? Well, let me tell you, these guys were like MacGyver meets Bear Grylls meets Houdini. They had life jackets made out of inflated rubber gloves and a makeshift paddle made out of a piece of wood. They even had a little homemade compass to help them navigate. So there they were, three guys on a raft made out of raincoats, paddling their way through the frigid waters of San Francisco Bay. And you know what? They made it. They actually made it to the mainland. Can you believe it? I mean, talk about determination. But here's where it gets even crazier. Despite all their planning and ingenuity, the authorities never found any trace of Frank Morris or the Anglin brothers. They disappeared without a trace. Some say they drowned in the bay, others say they made it to freedom. Who knows? Maybe they're living it up on a beach somewhere, sipping margaritas and laughing about the time they outsmarted Alcatraz. So, the next time you're feeling trapped or stuck in a tough situation, just remember Frank Morris and the Anglin brothers. If they can break out of one of the most secure prisons in the world, you can handle whatever life throws your way. Just grab your raincoat, inflate some rubber gloves, and paddle your way to freedom. And who knows, maybe one day you'll be sipping margaritas on a beach, laughing about the time you pulled off the ultimate jailbreak.